Commander Zethric's 4 eyes studied the tactical display with growing confusion. The holographic battlefield showed something that defied every military doctrine in the Galactic Confederation's extensive databases. Where there should have been orderly formations of ground troops, aerial superiority fighters, and mechanized assault units, there was instead dirt, lots of dirt, arranged in seemingly random zigzag patterns across the contested moon of Kepler 442b. Sir, his tactical officer, Lieutenant Vextar, chittered nervously. The humans have been digging. Digging? Zethric's translator struggled with the concept. In 300 years of interstellar warfare, no species had ever responded to orbital bombardment and superior firepower by excavating holes in the ground. Are they constructing underground bunkers? Mining facilities? No, sir. They appear to be living in the holes. The hegemony had been confident this would be a swift campaign. Humans were a newly contacted species, barely 50 years since first contact, and their technology lagged centuries behind established galactic powers. Their ships were crude, their weapons primitive, and their tactics, well, their tactics didn't exist in any military textbook. When humanity had refused to surrender their outer colonies, the hegemony had deployed the 47th Battle Fleet to teach them a lesson in modern warfare. Orbital superiority was established within hours. Atmospheric fighters swept away human air defenses in minutes. Ground forces landed expecting token resistance before the inevitable surrender. That was 6 months ago. Status report, Zethric demanded, his frustration evident in the sharp clicks his mandibles made. Sir, our casualties have reached 37%. Enemy casualties are difficult to assess. Difficult to assess. They're primitives with kinetic weapons. Lieutenant Vextar's carapace darkened, a sign of extreme discomfort in his species. Sir, they keep not dying. We destroy their positions with artillery and they dig deeper. We gas their trenches and they retreat into sealed chambers they've somehow constructed underground. We send in assault troops and they emerge from holes we didn't know existed. The commander pulled up battlefield recordings from the previous day's assault. His forces had advanced across what appeared to be empty terrain, only to have the ground itself come alive with muzzle flashes. Humans had popped up from concealed positions, fired their primitive but effective weapons, then vanished again into the earth like some sort of burrowing predators. They're calling it trench warfare, Vextar continued. Our xenoarchaeologists found references to it in their historical databases. Apparently they used these tactics in something called the Great War nearly 2 centuries ago. 2 centuries ago? Zethric was incredulous. They're using obsolete tactics from their own history? Yes, sir, and it's working. The truth was becoming undeniably clear with each passing day. The humans had turned the moon's surface into a labyrinth of interconnected tunnels, firing positions and supply depots. Every meter of advance cost the hegemony dearly, and the humans seemed content to trade space for casualties. Hegemony casualties. What truly baffled the alien commander was the humans' apparent indifference to their impossible situation. They were outnumbered, outgunned, cut off from reinforcements, and facing an enemy with overwhelming technological superiority. By every rational calculation, they should have surrendered months ago. Instead, they had somehow constructed an underground city. Sir, we're receiving another message from the human commander, Vextar reported. Put it through. The hologram flickered to life, showing a dirt-smudged human female in primitive combat fatigues. Colonel Sarah Martinez had been the hegemony's contact for surrender negotiations that never seemed to progress beyond her polite refusal to discuss terms. Good morning, Commander Zethric, she said with that unsettling human expression called a smile. I trust your troops enjoyed yesterday's weather. That ion storm was quite something. Colonel Martinez, surely you recognize the futility of your position. Our forces are dying at a rate of 3 to 1, she interrupted. Which I'll admit isn't our best ratio, but we're working on improvements. Zethric felt his respiratory spiracles flutter in agitation. You cannot possibly believe you can win this engagement. The human's smile widened, showing those predatory teeth. Win? Commander, we're not trying to win. We're just refusing to lose. There's a difference. That makes no logical sense. Doesn't have to. Look, your species has been fighting wars with fancy orbital platforms and energy shields and all that impressive tech. But here's the thing about humans. We're very, very good at being stubborn. We've had lots of practice. Colonel Martinez gestured to something off-camera, and Zethric could hear the sound of construction in the background. Somehow, even under siege, the humans were still building. "Every day you stay here, you lose soldiers and resources," she continued conversationally. "Every day we stay here, we get better at staying here. We're not going anywhere, Commander. This is our ground now." The transmission ended, leaving Zethric staring at the tactical display. The human positions had expanded again overnight, not outward but downward and inward, like some sort of cancerous root system spreading through the moon's crust. His communication officer announced an incoming priority message from High Command. Admiral Grexthel's image materialized, all 6 of his eyes focused intently on Zethric. "Commander, the Hegemony Council has reviewed your situation. The resources being expended on this single moon could fund 3 separate sector campaigns. You will withdraw the 47th Fleet immediately and mark this system as disputed territory."Zethric's mandibles clicked in disbelief. "Sir, they're primitives with projectile weapons. Primitives who have cost us more ships and soldiers than the last 5 campaigns combined," the Admiral replied coldly. "There's no strategic value worth this expenditure. Let them keep their holes in the ground." As the 47th Fleet departed Kepler 442b, Zethric took one final look at the tactical display. The human trench system now covered nearly half the moon's surface, a sprawling testament to their species' most dangerous characteristic. They simply refused to know when they were beaten. In the depths of those trenches, Colonel Martinez was already planning the next phase of construction. The humans had learned something valuable about galactic warfare. Sometimes the most advanced tactic was the oldest one, executed with absolute, unreasonable determination. They had held their ground not through superior firepower or tactical brilliance, but through the simple, stubborn refusal to die when they were supposed to. The galaxy would remember this lesson,